Hi, welcome to the quiz. You will be presented with multiple choice questions, each displayed on screen for a short time. Please make sure to attempt answering all the questions. Quizzes help us to reinforce our knowledge, identify areas where we need to focus more, and improve our overall performance. Taking quizzes can also help to increase retention and make the learning process more engaging and enjoyable. With that out of the way, you can answer along on quizalto.com. The exact URL of this quiz will be in the notes down below. Let's get started. Good luck. Which term refers to a distinct location within an AWS region that is engineered to be isolated from failures in other availability zones? Edge location. Region. Data center. Availability zone. What ensures the highly available infrastructure in AWS? Regions. Instances. Data centers. Availability zones. What is the primary factor driving the adoption of AWS wavelength zones? Need for enhanced security features. Demand for ultra-low latency access to AWS services for mobile applications. Cost-saving initiatives. Requirement for global redundancy. What is the primary purpose of AWS regions and availability zones? Improved performance. Increased availability and fault tolerance. Cost reduction. Enhanced security. What is the typical size of an AWS wavelength zone in terms of geographical coverage? Within a country. Global coverage. Across multiple countries. Within a city. How does AWS infrastructure ensure fault tolerance for databases? Operating in multiple availability zones. Utilizing powerful instances. Automated backups. Using redundant storage. Which component of AWS infrastructure provides redundant power, networking, and connectivity? Regions. Availability zones. Data centers. Instances. What is the term for a point of presence location where AWS CloudFront caches copies of your content for faster delivery to users? Region. Edge location. Availability zone. Data center. Which technology is closely associated with AWS wavelength zones? 4G. LTE. 5G. 3G. What is the primary purpose of AWS Edge locations? To cache content and improve the performance of AWS services for end users. To provide isolated testing environments for AWS services. To enhance security features of AWS services. To store backups of data in different regions. How does AWS describe the infrastructure in its availability zones? Variable and unpredictable. Basic and unreliable. Limited and unstable. Highly available and fault-tolerant. What is the primary benefit of using AWS Edge locations for content delivery? Reduced latency. Increased redundancy. Lower cost. Enhanced security. How many data centers can an AWS availability zone comprise? Exactly 2. 1 or more. Exactly 1. What is the term for the AWS service that enables you to distribute content to edge locations and accelerate dynamic web applications? Amazon EC2. Amazon Route 53. Amazon CloudFront. Amazon S3. What is an AWS region? Single data center. Global network. Physical location with multiple availability zones. Virtual location. What is the purpose of AWS local zones? To enhance security features of AWS services. To extend AWS infrastructure to geographic locations closer to end users. To provide isolated network environments for testing. To create redundant copies of data in different regions. What is the term for the AWS service that provides a content delivery network service to distribute content to end users with low latency? Amazon CloudFront. Amazon S3. Amazon Route 53. Amazon EC2. What is the primary benefit of using AWS wavelength zones for mobile applications? Enhanced security. Reduced latency. Lower cost. Increased redundancy. What is the primary purpose of AWS wavelength zones? To improve security features of AWS services. To replicate data across multiple regions for redundancy. To create isolated testing environments for AWS services. To provide ultra-low latency access to AWS services for 5G applications. What is the term for a fully isolated section of the AWS cloud where you can launch AWS resources in a virtual network? Amazon S3. Amazon Virtual Private Cloud. Amazon RDS. Amazon EC2. What characteristic distinguishes each availability zone from others in AWS? Uniformity. Shared resources. Interconnectedness. Independence in power, networking, and connectivity. What is a characteristic of each AWS availability zone's infrastructure? Limited redundancy. Independent power, networking, and connectivity. Centralized control. Shared resources. How many AWS regions are there globally? 50 plus. 10 plus. 33. 25 plus. In which type of scenarios are AWS wavelength zones particularly useful? Applications with global user bases. Applications with high computational requirements. Applications requiring real-time responsiveness for mobile users. Applications with strict regulatory requirements. In which type of scenarios are AWS local zones particularly useful? Applications requiring low-latency access to AWS services. Applications with global user bases. Applications with strict regulatory requirements. Applications with high computational requirements. And that's a wrap. Thanks to everyone who participated. Remember, you can answer along on quizalto.com, where you can keep track of your progress and find much more quizzes. We hope you had a fun and challenging time. Until next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more. Hit the bell icon to be notified as soon as we upload. Please leave a comment if you have any thoughts or suggestions, and if you think this video is worth sharing with someone who could benefit from it, please forward a link to them. See you next time. Thanks for watching.